Hello dear students. Now today we are doing applications of a dimensional analysis method. There are three applications in dimensional analysis method. First is to derive formula, second to check the correctness of the given formula, and third is to convert one system into another of unit into another system of units. Now we are doing one by one. First application of dimensional method is to derive formula. Suppose a pendulum is there and we have to calculate time period of this pendulum. It is its mean position and it is in extreme position. These are extreme positions. So in how much time does it complete one oscillation? Now this time period depends upon, suppose we can derive a formula until the physical quantity depends upon three things, not more than three things actually. Now this time period depends upon effective length L. What is effective length? Length of the string plus radius of the bob makes effective length of the pendulum. And second is time period depends upon acceleration due to gravity. A is dimensions of length and B is dimensions of acceleration due to gravity here. So T is depending on both the things, on both the factors, on both the physical quantities. First is effective length and second is acceleration due to gravity. Now I am combining these two. When I combine these two, equation first and equation second, then I can write here T is directly proportional to LA and LGB. Now whenever we are eliminating this proportionality sign, then we always put here K, any constant. Now this T becomes T is equal to K LAGB. A and B are the dimensions of L and G respectively. Now dimension of time period is M0 because mass is not there, length is not there, time is only there. We are writing here M0 L0 T1. Length is again there, so we can write here L. Dimension of length is L and dimension of acceleration due to gravity, acceleration. Acceleration का dimension जो होता है वो क्या होता है? Velocity upon time and velocity is L upon T upon T. So we can write here L upon T square. So dimensions of acceleration due to gravity is L1T minus 2. We are writing here B, dimension of G is B, and dimension of length is A. Now we are multiplying it, so it becomes M0 L0 T1 is equal to K as it is, LA, LB and T minus 2B. It becomes M0 L0 T1 as it is equal to K. Now L, dimension of L is A and B, so we can add them, and T minus 2B is there. By using law of homogeneity. According to law of homogeneity, what we can say? According to law of homogeneity, we can say that we can compare dimensions of similar quantities. Here length is having here A plus B dimension, and while length is having here 0. So we can compare these two. So A plus B becomes 0. Again T is having 1 here and T is having minus 2B here. So we can compare these two. Minus 2B is equal to 1. Then the value of B becomes minus 1 upon 2. Substituting this value of B in this expression, so we can write here A minus 1 upon 2 is equal to 0. So we can write here A is equal to 1 upon 2. Now we have already got the values of A and B. So A is equal to 1 upon 2 and B is equal to minus 1 upon 2. We are substituting these two values of A and B in this equation first. In this equation third, we are substituting this value here. In this equation third. Now what happens? T is equal to K L1 upon 2 G minus 1 upon 2. We can write here T is equal to K L1 upon 2 upon G 1 upon 2. Or we can write here T is equal to K square root of L upon G. In this formula or in this method, the value of K is 2 pi. So we can write here T is equal to 2 pi. It becomes T is equal to 2 pi under root L upon G. It is the formula which is used to calculate time period of a simple pendulum. Right? So by this way we can derive any formula. One more formula is there which is very important for you. This is whenever any object is moving in circular motion, when mass of the object is m, it is moving with linear velocity v and radius is r, then can we derive the formula of centripetal force produced in this object. So we have to derive a formula for centripetal force exerted by this object towards the center of the circular motion. So now this centripetal force depends upon mass of the object, velocity of the object, and radius of the object in which it is moving. Now I am combining these three. So Fc is equal to कितना हो जाएगा? Same way. Fc is directly proportional to Ma, Vb and Rc. Again I am eliminating this sign. Then what happens? Fc is equal to कितना हो जाएगा? K Ma V. Dimension of V is L1t minus 1 and dimension of L is R is L. So we can write here this. Again L1t minus 2 is there. Ma is there, Lb t minus b is there, Lc is there. When I am writing all the dimensions of similar quantities, so we are writing here Lma, Lb plus c and t minus b is equal to L1 m1 L1 t minus 2. Again using law of homogeneity, comparing the dimensions of similar quantities, a is equal to b, b plus c is equal to 1 and minus b is equal to minus 2. So we can write here b is equal to 2. When I substitute the value of b in this equation, in this expression, then it becomes 2 plus c is equal to 1, c is equal to minus 1. So b is equal to 2, c is equal to minus 1, a is equal to 1 again. Again I am substituting these three values of a, b, c in this expression. Equation number 4. So what do we get here? Fc is equal to m raised to power a, v raised to power b and r raised to power c. And the value of c is minus 1 here. So in place of c we can write here minus 1. So it becomes Fc is equal to mb square upon r. That is the formula of centripetal force exerted by the object towards the center of the circular motion, where m is mass of the object, v is linear velocity of the object, and r is radius of the object, radius of the circular path. It is first application of dimension analysis, and it is very, very important from examination point of view because one question is asked from this topic. Take care of it. Now I'm telling second application of this. Second application is this. Second application to check the correctness of the given formula. How can we check the correctness? If the given formula is correct or not? So there are three laws. There are three positions. If dimensions of left hand side and dimensions of right hand sides are equal, then the given expression is correct. Otherwise not. Second, if in any two or more terms of an expression is there, then the dimension of each term should be equal to each other. And third is trigonometric ratios and constant terms are not included. Now I am taking very, very famous equation, second equation of motion, s is equal to ut plus half at square. How many terms are there? In right hand side there are two terms. So what we can say here, dimension of s must be equal to dimension of ut must be equal to dimensions of 1 upon 2 at square, because 1 upon 2 is a constant quantity, so we'll eliminate it, we'll leave it. It becomes s, dimensions of s must be equal to dimensions of u into t must be equal to dimensions of a t square. Now L will remain L, U L upon T is there and T is there, and A is L upon T square into T square is there. Both all will cancel out. So what we can say here, what are remaining? L, L and L again is there. Because dimensions of left hand side is equal to dimensions of right hand side first part is equal to dimensions of right hand side second part, then second equation is correct. Similarly, what we are doing? We are doing the formula which we have derived now, that is time period of a simple pendulum. T is equal to 2 pi under root L upon G. Dimension of T is M0 L0 T1, while dimension of L will remain L. Square root is there, we are putting here 1 upon 2 power. G is there, the dimension of G is acceleration, so we can write here L upon T square. So we are writing here L upon T square raised to power 1 upon 2. Now we can write it in this way, L1 upon 2, L1 upon 2 into T2 raised to power 1 upon 2. This will cancel out, we'll get here T, means what we can say, dimension of left hand side, that is T, is equal to dimensions of right hand side is equal to T. We can write here, so it is, both are equal, so we can say here the given formula is correct, means time period of a simple pendulum can be given as T is equal to 2 pi square root of L upon G. That is the correct formula of it. Thank you very much for your kind cooperation.